Good morning, guys. We are currently on our road trip up north. We're taking our first break here. Just entered South Carolina, so we're getting our legs stretched out. We're probably gonna see if we can find some breakfast, letting the dogs walk around. We've been driving for the past 4 hours so far. We started our trip at 4 in the morning. It's about 8 in the morning right now, and we've made it through Florida, Georgia, and now we just entered South Carolina. So this is our first break of this very long road trip. We're going to be splitting it up into 2 days instead of trying to make it all in one shot, because we have the kids and the animals, and we want to make sure everybody gets enough movement during this trip. So we're very excited to share this journey with you guys. I will record all of our breaks that we take on the way to up north, and then I'll share with you guys the Airbnb that we rented for the next month, and that's when we're going to be property searching for the next month, and hopefully we find something. So I'll be taking you guys along the whole journey, starting from now at the beginning of this road trip up there. So I hope you guys stay tuned and make sure you watch to the end, because we will have a very interesting twist and something I've been keeping from you guys announced at the end of the video once we get to our destination. Hello guys, welcome back. We just finished our second longer break, and we were kind of like in the central top point of North Carolina. So soon we'll be out of North Carolina and on to the next state. We just made some sandwiches for lunch and let the dogs out to use the bathroom. So we're gonna continue on the road trip over here. It's currently 8:30 p.m. We are ending our trip for today soon. We're in Maryland. We're just picking up dinner really quick, and we'll fill up on gas and then find like a rest area to sleep for a couple hours, and then we will pick back up on the trip at around 4 in the morning. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if we can get some rest, and that is it for today. So we went from Florida 4 a.m. in the morning, and we made it to Maryland at 8:30 p.m. Hello guys, it's the next morning. Right now we are driving in Pennsylvania. We're going to be visiting my younger sister that is in a campsite over there. She has an RV, so we're going to stop by her place before continuing our trip up north. So we're going to stop there for breakfast, and I believe we're still in the beginning of Pennsylvania. I'm not sure how far in her campground that she's staying at is, but that's where we're heading to right now. And then we're trying to see if the Airbnb host will extend our trip so that we can arrive tonight instead of tomorrow, because the check-in wasn't until tomorrow at 3 p.m. So we're trying to see if we can add on an additional day, so that way once we arrive tonight we can go ahead and sleep. We slept at just a rest stop last night for a couple hours, but if we can settle into our Airbnb earlier, hopefully they approve that. But this is where we're at now, Pennsylvania, and then we will continue our trip from there. We are still road tripping. We are about to stop and eat dinner, and then we're going to be driving the rest of the way to our Airbnb. We are still about 7 hours away, I believe. So we're going to be arriving there at night. I was able to book the extra day, so luckily we'll be able to sleep in our Airbnb tonight instead of having to figure it out in our car again. We're super tired. It has been a really long drive, but once we are all set up, obviously we're gonna get to our destination when it's way too late tonight. So in the morning, I will go ahead and show you where we're staying at and let you know the special thing that we've been keeping from you guys and from everybody pretty much on Facebook and on YouTube and Instagram. Our family already knows this, but a lot of you do not know this, so I will announce that tomorrow, so stay tuned to the end of the video to see what it was that we were talking about.
Welcome to Maine.
Good morning, everyone. I am sitting here enjoying the mountain view here at our Airbnb. We got to the Airbnb at 2 in the morning last night, so it is about 9 in the morning now. We got plenty good rest. We were so tired on the way here. Like about the last hour stretch of arriving, there was really thick and intense fog, so it was so hard to see, especially as you're already tired and just want to get to where you're going. But this is where we're at. I don't know if you guys caught that in the video, but yes, we did not make a wrong turn. We didn't get lost. We are in Maine. We are not in Vermont. So that was kind of the thing that we've been keeping a secret from you guys. You guys have known that we visited Vermont twice and pretty much had our hearts set on looking for housing in Vermont. So how did we end up here in Maine? It's still a New England state, very similar as you can see, but definitely farther away. Well, it came down really to housing. At the end, as our house was selling over there in Florida, I kept looking in Vermont. We kept looking for properties in Vermont. We're working with a realtor over there, and I was getting very frustrated and very worried because the time was approaching to sell our house. We still didn't even have properties to come look at in Vermont. So let me get around here. So as we started getting more frustrated and worried about that, I decided to just look over our states again and kind of look back at the ones that we had written off, and Maine was definitely one of them. We felt like it was too far away, and it was also, we didn't really want a state that was close to any beaches or like shores, just for the fear of like the storms and stuff that we've dealt with in Florida, although that is not really a concern here in Maine. We don't really get like hurricanes and stuff here. You still get the winter blizzards, which are just as bad. But anyway, despite the whole weather thing, so we were looking for a recreational state because my husband wants to get into the cannabis industry on his own. That is the work that he does now, but working for someone else, working for a different company, he wants to explore doing it on his own and being able to sell to dispensaries and kind of get his name out there. So our list of states that we can even look in are cut down to just the ones that are currently recreational. So I looked over the list of recreational states again and just happened to take a look at Maine again. I decided to just do a rough search on Zillow and on realtor.com and put in our filters, trying to stick like under a certain price, a certain acreage, and like to my surprise, it was so refreshing to see actual properties that we can look at. Like as of now, we have 14 properties saved that we're going to be looking at in the next month. Where if you go back to Vermont, I put in those same filters and those same stipulations, and there's really nothing. There's maybe one house that we could go look at, and then the housing market in Vermont has been crazy. Like people snatch them up really fast, especially when they're low priced. So here in Maine, it's just a bigger state. Still has everything we're looking for. It has good homeschooling laws. They have the cottage food laws. very easy state to farm in. Houses come with a lot of land, and then my husband can do what it is that he wants to do as well. So that is how we ended up here in Maine. It was a very last minute decision, as you can tell. But we did a research. There wasn't too much research to do because Maine compares a lot to all the other New England states, but there is a lot cheaper houses here. Like I said, we have 14 saved that are within our price range. Some are a little bit above, but since we plan on buying in cash, that could be worked out as well if we find something that we really like. And we're so excited. I found a realtor to work with here because one of the houses we were interested in, she was the listing agent for that one. So we talked to her, and she's going to be our realtor that's going to help us go check out properties while we're here in Maine. So we have this Airbnb, beautiful location with mountain views, huge house also. I'm going to do a tour of the Airbnb as a separate video because the house is so big. It has the basement, first floor, and the second story. So I'll do a tour of that. Right across where you see those mountains, that is actually Canada over there. So we're right at the Canada border at the tippy top of Maine. It was pretty hard finding an Airbnb that we could afford. But we're happy to find this one for a whole month. So this is where we're going to be property searching. But yeah, we probably would have saved ourselves a lot of time and headache by not ruling out Maine in the get-go. But I'm glad that we circled back and somehow ended up here just by a simple little search on the realtor websites to see what was available. My husband said that maybe visiting Vermont and spending time there was kind of our gateway into the New England area, and maybe God was trying to lead us to the state in the first place, and we were just kind of doing it our own way and thinking we knew where we wanted to live. But somehow we ended up here, and we're very excited to see our options here. There's so many more options here for us, but keeping our options open as well. We won't consider, I don't think we'll consider any other New England states, but between Vermont and Maine, I am pretty sure we're going to find something.